Hello students, we are going to start with a new chapter in biology today, that is a transpiration. Okay, so before starting of the transpiration, I would like to start up give what is the difference between a word sweating and a transpiration. See, we humans lose the water from the pores of our body. Okay, there are small pores. The pores means the small holes if you magnify your skin. So through that space, the water expels out of your body. That is called as the sweating. But the transpiration is the word. It's a kind of a sweating only, but we can't tell sweating in the plants. We are going to call this part as the transpiration in the plants. Okay. So transpiration. So what do you mean by the word transpiration? Let's start. The word transpiration means the process in which the plant lose water in the form of the water vapor from the aerial parts of the plants. What do you mean by the word aerial parts of the plants? Aerial parts of the plant. See, this one is roots, okay. This second is stem, and the third one is the leaves. The word aerial part. The word aerial means the above part. What do you mean by above part? This is considered, the stem and the leaves are called as the shoot, which is the above part, okay. And in that also, leaf is going to transpire, okay. Who is going to transpire? Leaf is going to lose the water, okay. The aerial part means the above part, okay. Who is the most above part? That is the leaves. So this was about the definition, okay. Now we are going to discuss regarding the evaporation and transpiration. Can we use the word evaporation in plants? Certainly no. Why? Because transpiration occurs in a living cell, okay. But the word evaporation means they are not incorporated with the living cells. I just wanted to give you an example. See, in the month of summers, the cloths dry quickly. Why does the cloths dry quickly? Because there is a more of heat, so it takes up the sun takes up the more water from the surface, okay, from the surface. So that is called as the evaporation. But the same cloths, if you are going to dry in the month of the rainy season, does this cloths are going to get dry very fast? The answer to this part is no. The transpiration, as I already mentioned, it occurs in a living cell, okay. What does transpiration helps? It gives the plant a cooling effect, okay. Like whenever we sweat, so why we sweat? In order to get a cooling effect. Same like that, the plants get a cooling effect, transpiration. About 95%, about 95% of the water which we pour to the plants is lost by the plants in the form of the water vapor. Only plants uses 5% of the water for the development, okay, for the process of photosynthesis. This 5% is quite very enough for the plants, for the working of the plants, for the working of the plant. The 95% of the water is lost through the transpiration, okay. So transpiration occurs in a living cell, evaporation does not occurs in a living cell, okay. Like cloths are non-living in nature, so evaporation occurs there. Transpiration is a slow process, okay. Plants will lose the water slowly. Why the plants are going to lose the water slowly? Because if the plants lose the water fast, the plants will get wilted, okay. Evaporation is a fast process. Evaporation is a fast process. Now we are going to move to the next slide. Now some experiment time, okay. In this experiment, we are going to see, okay, how the plant lose the water from the aerial parts of the plant. Let's take a first demonstration. As the definition says, okay, lose of water from the aerial part. So our topic is, what is the first experiment? That the release of water vapor by enclosing the plant in a polythene bag, okay, polythene bag. So see, these are the two plants, that is A and B. In plant A, in this A part, if you are going to see, the leaves are intact. What do you mean by word intact? The word intact means the leaves are kept. And in the B part, the leaves are removed from this twig. Okay, see, now what we are going to do, we are going to cover this twig, this plant part with a plastic bag, and this also with a plastic bag. And I am going to, in order to tie, we will use rubber band. Okay, so this was, and this is a stick. Stick means which helps to protect, okay, so that it does not get loose. This is a plastic bag. Keep these plants for 1 hour in sun. So you would notice in A, the polythene bag is got wet. Okay, see this part. But in B part, there is a no water on the polythene bag. We couldn't see any kind of a water on the polythene bag. What does this suggest? This suggests that the plant lose their water from the leaves, okay, not from the stem. This experiment proves that, okay, the plant is losing water due to the presence of leaves, not due to the presence of stem. Okay, the first experiment for the transpiration proves that. Now we are going to take more experiment to understand. This is the use of the cobalt chloride paper. What is the use of the cobalt chloride paper? See, there are three apparatus. Apparatus A, B, C. Okay, there are three apparatus. In first apparatus, we can see this. This is a well water plant, okay, which is enclosed with a polythene bag. Okay, this is a polythene bag. Okay, again in B part, we are going to take a well water plant. We are going to introduce a paper inside this B part. Okay, see this pink color paper. Okay, actually it wasn't pink, it was blue in nature. So I am going to explain you, okay, why it is seeming pink. In C, there was no plant, only a wooden stick and cobalt chloride paper, which was originally blue in color, was introduced. So after 1 hour, we are going to see all these three apparatus one by one. See, in apparatus A, we can see that there is some water molecules. Okay, there is some water molecules in the polythene bag. Now we are going to see for B. There are only few water molecules. Okay, there are only few water molecules. So where are the rest of the water molecules? The rest of the water molecule is absorbed by this paper. This paper, okay, which is a cobalt chloride paper. So I am going to write the formula, but in exam you have to write in words. This is a cobalt chloride paper. The original color of this cobalt chloride paper was blue. Okay, this cobalt chloride paper was blue when it was dry in nature. When this cobalt chloride paper comes in contact, okay, comes in contact with the moisture, it turns pink. Okay, when it is dry, it is blue, and when this paper becomes wet, it becomes pink. Okay, and this cobalt chloride experiment is there in the chemistry also, practical chemistry. So one should easily understand this part. See, now this, the third apparatus, that is C. Why the third apparatus was kept? It was a control setup. What do you mean by control setup? See, might be the case, okay, there was some moisture in the air. So even if suppose there is moisture in the air, so there would be some moisture in the polythene bag also. Okay, so we have to be very careful. So that is why we have to check whether there was a moisture in the surrounding or not. So that is why apparatus C was taken, which is without a plant, and we introduced a cobalt chloride paper. And I already mentioned the word, the condition of the cobalt chloride. It is blue in color. Okay. See, after 1 hour also, it doesn't appear to be pink. Why? Because it was dry only. So we can conclude this part very well, that there was no moisture in the atmosphere. Okay. So this was the second experiment in which we proved that the water is lost by the plants in the form of the water droplets. Now, measure of transpiration. See, the transpiration is quite very interesting. Okay, there we should know that transpiration occurs in a plant. Okay, so some of the plants get wilted very easily, but some of the plants does not get wilted that easily. So how to conclude this part? By checking up the rate of transpiration. The first is a weighting method, and second is a potometer method. So first I am going to introduce this part, weighting method. The weighing method means the method in which you can exactly check the weight of a plant. So let's start with this part. Let's take, the topic is the loss in weight of a potted plant. Let's take a fresh plant. Okay, pour some oil on the surface. Why we have poured oil? So that the plant does not lose the water from the evaporation. Okay, and inside this test tube it is filled with the water, and the twig is kept. Okay, this plant is kept inside this test tube. After an interval of 1 or 2 hours, the water level inside this got decreased. Okay, the water level, like here, it got decreased. It came up to here. So we took a weighting machine here and we checked on it. So what we saw, okay, there is a less amount of water which is left in the test tube. Okay, this was a plant shoot and the weight got decreased. Suppose this is not an exact figure, you just have to assume. Okay, suppose I take the original weight of the plant was 10. Okay, but after 1-2 hours it became 9. So we can say, okay, there was some transpiration because the weight got decreased, the weight of the plant got decreased. So this shows, okay, there is a loss of water from the plants. So this was a weighting method in which we could see there is a change in the weight. The second method is the potometer method. Let's understand that in detail. The first potometer method is a device that measures the rate of water intake by a plant, and the water is almost equal to the loss through transpiration. This means, in a simple language, this means the amount of water vapor, the amount of the water that is intake by a plant and that is lost by a plant. Suppose this water is intake by the plant, suppose this is a level, the same amount of the water is going to lose by the plant. Okay, see, this shows that the plant is not going to lose more water. Okay, if suppose this plant have consumed 1 liter of water, so it is going to transpire 1 liter of water only. This is a Ganong's potometer. This is a Ganong's potometer. This Ganong potometer is very useful. Okay, this is very useful. There are various potometers, but the Ganong potometer is known to be is very well known, Why it is very well known? Because it works with a perfection. There is one Darwin potometer also, okay, but in Darwin potometers there were some of the failures, so because of that it has been discarded. But Ganong potometers helps to measure the rate of transpiration in more accurate way, so that is why we have took the Ganong potometer. So let's start to understand. See what we are going to do. First, I'm going to make you explain each and every term. Okay. Then we are going to start and we are going to notice okay, what is going to happen. See. See this part. Water. See, this is a leaf shoot, which has been inserted inside this part. Okay. This Ganong potometer part. Okay, which is filled with the water, and this is a reservoir. The upper part of the reservoir is covered with the oil. Okay, and there is also water inside this reservoir, as we can see out here. There is a stopcock. This stopcock means like opening and closing of this. Okay, opening which helps to close and open the tap. This is a stopcock. Now we are going to take the scales. Why we take scale? For measuring the rate of transpiration. Okay, the scales helps to measure the rate of transpiration. This is a capillary tube. Capillary tube means the tube which is going to carry up this water and the bubble. Okay, there is one more. There is a beaker which is containing colored water. Okay, here the water was clear. Here the water was clear, but here the water was colored. Okay, let's assume okay, we have inserted potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate. What is the formula of potassium permanganate? KMnO4. So because of this got red. This water got red. Actually it's not red, it should be pink. Okay, this water become pink. This is the color water. So what we are going to do, see, listen to this experiment very carefully because it is quite tricky also to understand. What I'm going to do, see, there is one part out here, if you can see here. I'm going to cover this part with my thumb. Okay, why I'm going to cover this part with my thumb? Because I have to see that no air is created inside this capillary tube. Okay, no air is created, no air bubble should be entered into this capillary tube. Okay, so I'm going to keep, but I'm going to remove my thumb for 1 or 2 seconds. Why I'm going to remove my hand for 1 or 2 seconds? To introduce this air bubble. Okay, so and after 1 or 2 seconds immediately I should cover this part again with my thumb. Okay, so the experiment should be very fast. This is the capillary tube. This capillary tube carries up this water. Okay, carries up this water towards this part, toward the plant's part. This is the air bubble. Okay, initially the air bubble is black, you can see out here. This scale, suppose this air bubbles after an interval of 2 hours or 1 hour, this air bubbles comes out here. So what we can conclude? Okay, what we can conclude? We can conclude that the water which is present inside this capillary tube moves ahead. Why it moves ahead? Because we can see this bubble is moving ahead. Okay, because of this the water shifted to this part, and when this water is taken by the leaves, it got lost. Okay, the water is lost by the leaves. Now what we are going to do, see, when the air bubble comes near the reservoir, okay, comes near this reservoir, what we are going to do, we are going to open this stopcock. So why we open this stopcock? Because this stopcock will push this air bubbles backward and helps this air bubble to come in the initial position again. What do you mean by initial position? The starting position, somewhere here. This reservoir also helps to measure the rate of transpiration. Okay, see, this is an air bubble. If it moves ahead with the speed, the plant will lose a lot of water and the water inside this part will get less. So this reservoir helps to take a multiple reading. Okay, because of this reservoir we can take a lot of reading without disturbing the apparatus. Okay, you don't have to introduce a water from this part. We have to introduce the water from this part. Now why there was a color water? Okay, now question arises, now why there was a color water? There was a color water because in order to distinguish between the transpire water and the water intake. See, the air bubble is here, the water on this side is pink in nature, and the water on this side is clear water. Okay, when these bubbles move ahead, this pink water inside this capillary tube increases. Okay, so again, in order to come back into its original position, we have given the reservoir, which helps to push the bubble back to the initial position out here. Okay, now this was all about the potometer part. Now we are going to introduce what are the precautions we should use in a potometer. Precautions, we have to be very careful while using this part. The apparatus should be watertight. Okay, the apparatus should be watertight. Why it should be watertight? So that no bubbles could enter into this potometer and disturb the apparatus. Okay, the twig should be cut in the horizontal position. How? Like, see, suppose this is a roots. Okay, and here I'm going to draw some leaves. Okay, I'm going to cut the part. I'm going to cut this part. See, out here I'm going to make it dark. So how I'm going to cut? I'm going to cut in a horizontal or a slanted position like this. Okay, I'm going to cut like this, horizontal position. Why I'm going to cut in a horizontal position? So that I can increase my surface area. If I am going to cut in a perfectly like this in a cross section, to see this surface area and see this surface area, this seems to be have a large surface area. Okay, if it has a large surface area, then it becomes very easy for a person to measure the rate of transpiration. Okay, because if the surface area is more, the rate of transpiration will be more. See, we said that we have to insert up the air bubbles. See, introducing air bubble is not that easy. Okay, it is very difficult to take one bubble at a time. See, if 2 or 3 bubbles get inside the potometer, so it becomes very difficult. So what we should do? What should we do? We should just remove our thumb for 1 or 2 seconds, not more than that. If you remove the hand for more 1 or 2 seconds, the more introduction of the air bubbles inside that capillary tube. Now, the twig should be alive for a longer period of a time. Okay, if the twig will die, means I mean to say, if a plant is going to die, so what is going to happen? We won't be able to see the rate of transpiration. Then what is the use of Ganox photometer? So we have to see that part also, that the twig should be alive for a long period of a time. And see, there should be any change in the outside air, that is temperature, may affect the position of the air bubble. See, if the temperature is high, the rate of transpiration will be quite high. Okay, if the temperature is low, the rate of transpiration will be quite low. So it won't be giving us a perfect balance. Okay, it won't be giving us the perfect measure of the rate of transpiration. So we have to check the atmospheric pressure as well as the temperature. This, okay, so students, this was the part 1 of transpiration. Thank you, students.